I am officially out of the reading slump. This is awful. This is so bad. Why do I squeal with the spicy scenes? Why? Just so brilliant. The writing was excellent. Nobody knows about my channel. I've never told anybody. The only person that knows is my husband. Well, I've been busted. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. So I have a new microphone and I've been having such awful technical difficulties with it, and if it's not working I think I might scream, but I'm just gonna carry on and just film the wrap up. I have my tea which is gone stone cold now, but it's fine. So today's video is the June wrap up video. Before I start, remember when I said in my Q&A that nobody knows about my channel? I've never told anybody. The only person that knows is my husband. Well, I've been busted. So one of my close uni friends follows Adam Hatton, and he had recently shared my page. She's all so hi Lucy, hi. I like that you privately messaged me rather than putting it in the group chat. I appreciate you for doing that. Let's keep it between ourselves and see if anybody else in the group chat finds out. We can keep it a secret. So today is my June wrap up. I've read 6 books this month, which is really great considering I had my birthday, I had COVID, and yeah, just had a really busy month. So that's pretty great that I read 6 books. One, I was close to DNFing, but I just persevered and I finished it. So that's great. You'll see one of them in a reading vlog, which I filmed, and I think that will be out after this video. I hope you guys are well. I feel like it's been ages since I have spoken to the camera. My last wrap up was quite a while back now. I took a little bit of a break because I was just not getting on with the books, but I'm pleased to say I am officially out of the reading slump. I am so pleased. June was a great reading month. Didn't have any 5 stars, but I had some close ones, but mainly 4 stars and 3 stars. So I'm pretty happy with that, because May was the ghetto. It was like 2 stars, 3 stars. I just really wasn't enjoying my books. But anyways, I'm gonna crack on and get on with it. And yeah, hope you grab a tea. I also have some TV shows and a film to also share as well. I hope you like the summery vibes that I'm trying to go for. I'm mourning the fact that I probably won't be going on a summer holiday. It's been 5 years since I've been out of the UK. I am pining for some heat. It is July and it's just, I mean, it's blue skies now, but it's not looking cute, okay? So where's the sun? Where's the heat? We literally did just have a bit of a heat wave at the end of June, but I want more, okay? I want more. I'm not satisfied. Anyways, let's get on with the books. The first one I've got is Funny Story by Emily Henry, and you probably saw me talking about this and reading this in my birthday reading vlog. I gave this a 4 stars. Obviously, if you know me by now, you know how much I really do adore Emily Henry and I love her writing. This was a lovely, comforting read by Emily Henry. You always know what you're going to get with her. It's very funny, like, you know, the banter, it's very witty. It's got some smut, which is appreciated. She's just an all-round great romance writer, and I'm always going to read whatever she brings out. So if you don't know by now, Funny Story is about Daphne, who's a children's librarian, and she's engaged to her partner, Peter, but he sadly breaks up with her when he gets with his childhood best friend, so the ultimate betrayal. So then she finds herself, she becomes roommates with Peter's new fiance, because he gets engaged to her, Peter's new fiance's ex, Miles. So they become roommates and we follow their story. So it was very, very cute. Yeah, I had a good time reading this. This wasn't my favourite Emily Henry book for now. Book Lovers is a firm favourite, but I must say it still was really good. And 4 stars is, in my opinion and my ratings, 4 stars is still a very, very good rating. And you know what, to be honest, I've got to give her some slack. You can't always be producing 5-star books. I still like this one, but I feel like it was just missing a little tiny spark. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but I loved the relationship between Daphne and Miles anyway. It was, you know, I think their chemistry was written very well. He's definitely going on the book boyfriend list if I hadn't already said that. This touches on navigating friendships in your adulthood, which I really appreciate, because that ish is hard, I'm not gonna lie. And like just past trauma, childhood trauma, dealing with problems with parents, like relationships with parents and things like that. So it was a wholesome book, okay? It was good, it was funny, it was, you know what you're gonna get with this one. So yeah, 4 stars. Next we've got Hiding Him by Adam Hatton. This video isn't sponsored by Hiding Him, but I have previously done sponsored work for this book. I'll leave the vlog up here if you want to go and watch it. I was actually kindly invited to the book launch of this last weekend, which I did film a little bit. I was a little shy, but I did film that, and that's coming up in the reading vlog. It should be after this reading wrap up. I had such an amazing time. I met Adam and he was just so lovely. Like, he's literally the same on screen and in real life. Like, he was just so warming and like he was so welcoming, and yeah, I just absolutely adore him. And I met Gary as well, who's really lovely. And I also met another lovely woman where I took my husband, he was my +1. Obviously I felt really awkward and really shy because I haven't really been socializing, you know, for a good couple of years. I've been kind of housebound, so this was like my first sort of step out into the big wide world again, and I had such a good time. And yeah, I sat next to this girl and she said, she's just struck up a conversation with me, and we were talking for hours. We were talking about like our weddings and, you know, buying houses and mortgage rates, traveling, and just general 30 something topics, which you know, I feel like we were kind of in the same sort of in a similar situation, like in terms of life milestones. Oh my god, she was so lovely. Her name was Sophie. So yeah, hi if you're watching. She found my channel because Adam dobbed me in. I do explain this a little bit in my vlog, but I'll just explain it here. Adam dobbed me in because I kind of asked her, I was like, oh, you know, how come you're here? And I think she's one of his patrons, I can't remember, but she said she watches his vlogs and things like that. And then I was kind of like, yeah, I can't remember what I said, but I was like, oh yeah, like I watched Brogan, that's how I found Adam. And I just sort of playing it down. She was honestly so lovely. I just felt like we clicked so much. Hiding Him by Adam Hatton, I gave this 4 stars as well. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It was an absolute pleasure to read. I'm not just saying that, you know, these are my true honest thoughts. I really love this book and I would highly recommend it. So this is a queer YA romance between Cam and teenagers, Cam and Finn. We follow them at sixth form. If you're not from the UK, sixth form it's like an extra part of, it's like a higher education. So you either stay on at school and do sixth form, you do your A levels there, or you go to college and you do your A levels there, or you do like a course or whatever. So you go to sixth form between 16 and 18. So yeah, we follow Cam and Finn there. Yeah, this book is amazing. It's got teen drama, it's got school bullies, embarrassing parents, and just the most wholesome friendship group. Banter in this, I was laughing. I don't usually laugh. I'm dead serious. I don't usually laugh at books. These, Emily Henry and yes, this one, yes, I did. Very witty, very British. So if you like that British sort of humour, you would love this. Honestly, I can't recommend it enough. It's really good. I think as you're watching this, it's come out now. So really enjoyed this. So yeah, 4 stars. The next book, I need a tea break for this. So I hope you're prepared. So the next book. Okay, I read this toxic little monstrosity and I just want to say this is an awful book. This is awful. This is so bad. This is like the equivalent of watching really trashy, mind-numbing TV. However, I closed this book and I said, never again. I am never reading this. Why is it now that I want to read the whole universe? Why is it now that I want to read the whole universe? I'm sorry. This book was terrible, but it was addictive. It was toxic. It was a quick read. It was salacious. It was scandalous. It was so incredibly toxic and damaging. I couldn't believe that this was a book with these awful characters in here. The reason why I want to start read the rest of the books is because I did a buddy read with this with Deb from Debate Books. If you don't follow her, you need to follow her. I'll leave her below, which was so much fun doing the buddy read. We did it on Storygraph. I would highly recommend it. Yeah, had a great time. Like literally was howling, cackling at her comments. This book follows many characters, but this first one, obviously, as the name goes, it follows Magnolia Parks and BJ. So it's dual POV, and they are basically, it's like Made in Chelsea, it's like Gossip Girl. They are basically these rich kids, socialites in London, and you know, they go to these events and they've just got so much money, and basically, yeah, they were in a relationship, something happened, and it's just a will they, won't they. It's awful. It's awful, and I know it's awful, but I gave it 3 stars because it's addictive, and I found myself gasping. I found myself just being like, what is this? But I'm gonna have this as a guilty pleasure because you know what, I'm human. We all, you know, it's like Love Island. This is the first year I haven't watched Love Island. Usually watch it every year, but I think like last year I kind of stopped halfway through, and this year I just haven't even bothered. But Love Island was always like my guilty pleasure. This is going to be my guilty pleasure. So me and Deb are going to carry on with the universe, and I think we're going to start with the second book. But yeah, it's awful. I don't recommend it, but I do at the same time. If you want something really quick and easy and addictive and awfully, one thing I must say is I hope there's a I think if teenagers are reading this, like young teenagers, because I'm assuming they are, I really hope they realise that BJ is one of the most disgusting characters, disgusting book boyfriends I've ever come across, and please do not aspire to have a boyfriend like that. Stay away from any BJs because oh my god, that sounds so wrong. You know what I mean. Stay away because yeah. There's no way this is a 5-star. There's no way, but I get it. Moving on, so we got The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides, and this was 4.5 stars. This was absolutely brilliant. I loved this. So I thought this was an incredible book. The narrative was so unique and unlike nothing that I've read. So this follows a group of young guys who are almost borderline obsessed, besotted by 5 Lisbon girls who live in their neighbourhood. And unfortunately, all the 5 girls in the house take their sisters, and they take their own lives within like a year. So it's crazy. I thought this was incredibly eerie, incredibly disturbing, very haunting, and very uncomfortable in some times throughout the book. However, it's very poignant, very sad. It's also just so brilliant. The writing was excellent, and now that I've read the book, I would really love to watch the films. I know Kirsten Dunst is in it, I think. I'd like to get like a different perspective of the characters and see them come to life. I couldn't give this a full 5 stars because the chapters were long. Like I remember 3 of the chapters were like well over 100 pages now. I'm like, maybe not well over 100 pages, close to 100 pages. I'm like, what? So yeah, but anyways, regardless of that, highly recommend it. Fantastic. I know I'm putting aside my thoughts because, to be honest, I know some people have moaned about the way the women have been written in this book, and I very much agree with you. From, you know, my feminist views, I very much agree that the way the women were written was a little bit like male gazy and made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. But I guess you've got to think this is from like young teenage boys' perspectives back in the 70s. So yeah, I'm kind of not taking it too literal. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. It would have been a 5-star if the chapters were shorter, but 4.5 is still really good. So the next book is Ghost Chili by Nikita Bakshani, and this was kindly gifted to me from Fleet. So yeah, they gave me the proof, which I was like really excited to get. From the blurb, it sounded like something I wanted to read. I picked this up in June because I was feeling like I wanted to read like a workplace book. I really love those. I gave it 3 stars. So this is a book about a girl called Muskan, and she's a late 20-something who's living in NYC. She has a creative job, she's got a loving friendship group, and she's in a bit of a like 3-year situationship, and we sort of watch her life unfold and crumble over the coming months. And well, like we kind of see how like she navigates it. It's like the typical, you know, that typical book where it's like the main character's like down on their luck sort of thing, which I kind of wanted to read. I wanted something like that because I think at the time I was feeling a bit like woe is me. I wanted a bit of comfort to read someone else who was in that same, you know, position. So this covers themes such as childhood abuse, childhood trauma, race, and just like being an immigrant in America. So I thought there were some really good topics in here. It was okay. It was heavily character driven, which I don't mind, but sometimes I do like a bit of a plot. I felt that the pacing was really off. It just felt a little disjointed. I think some people would actually really like this book. I just don't think it was for me personally. I loved the culture and the conversations about her culture. Yeah, being an Indian in America, like when she moved over when she was like 10, and just how she adapted, and I really liked those conversations. I think this book is great if you're looking for a bit of a palate cleanser, if you've just come from like a really heavy book. So I would definitely recommend this one. So this comes out the 4th of July. So depending on when you are watching this, I think it's already out. So I would recommend it, but it wasn't my favourite read of the month, but it was quite a nice, easy, lightish read. And finally, the 6th book, we've got I See Buildings Fall Like Lightning by Kieran Goddard. And again, I gave this a 3 stars as well. So this was kindly gifted to me from Little Brown as well. This is told through like alternating perspectives between 5 friends who grew up on a housing estate. This is a really, really deep story about friendships and growing up together but growing apart because they've all turned 30, dealing with like the hardships and the hard truths of life, and it kind of like showing the outcomes of like, you know, the expectations of life and what happens when it doesn't come into fruition. This also battles addiction and grief. I must say, if you are going through a period of addiction or you're newly sober, I definitely wouldn't recommend this book. I feel like it would be very triggering, so maybe just something to think about. I actually did like this book, even despite giving it 3 stars. I really did like it. I feel like the author did a really good job of giving the 5 friends different voices. It was just very bleak. It was very dark. I think the author did really set the scene. I did say in my reading vlog that like the mise-en-scène was very set. If this was a film, the mise-en-scène was very set. I could just imagine grey clouds, lots of, you know, concrete grey buildings, lots of rain, just very dark and gloomy, very bleak. So yeah, I guess that's a testament to the author and the writing. Yeah, 3 stars. I mean, 3 stars isn't necessarily bad. It's just, it wasn't my favourite read of the month, but I still would recommend it if you're looking for a real like gritty literary fiction piece. There was some beautiful prose in here, you know, and the chapters were really short as well, so it kind of kept you engaged. This is really, really good, and I can't really say why because I don't want to spoil it, but this did actually really touch me in terms of like grief aspect, so I'll just keep it there because I don't want to ruin it. But I thought it was good, so 3 stars. So now I'm going to move on to TV shows and films. The first one I'm going to talk about is Bridgerton, and this was a slow burn for me. I first started watching the episodes like really early June, and I wasn't really feeling it, but I was like, I'm going to keep going. Got to about episode 4. It just took off from there. I was like, yeah, I'm in. So good. I don't know why I've been sleeping on it for so long. Sometimes I get like that when like a program is really overhyped, same with the film, sometimes even books as well. When something's really overhyped, I tend to like kind of like, nah, it's not for me. I was very much like that with Breaking Bad. Like everybody in my life was like, you need to watch Breaking Bad. My dad was like, you need to watch Breaking Bad. Like, and then my husband started watching it, and then I kind of fell off, and then I got into it and I was like, yeah, like I completely understand what you guys were talking about. Like one of the best TV shows of all time. I hope he doesn't hear me say that, because I always play things down. I'm like, yeah, it was great. It's up there. It's up there, isn't it? So yeah, Bridgerton. Yeah, loved it. I don't really like period dramas, but this one was for me. If you don't know what Bridgerton's about, because I actually didn't know what it was about, so this is a period drama that follows a few different families in like high society, and the first season, and I think all the seasons, I guess, but this specific season focuses on Daphne, who's the eldest Bridgerton daughter, and she now comes of age and she's making her debut to the Regency, the London's competitive market. I know it kind of sounds like back then women just were not, we were just treated awfully, but yeah, anyways, so this is where she meets the bad boy, the Duke of Hastings, Simon, who is just emotionally unavailable. He is just ex, no, I don't want to get married, I don't want kids, blah blah blah, like. And yeah, there's a bit of fake dating involved, and we just kind of see their love story blossom. Yeah, so I thought this was great. There's scandals, there's fake dating, there's the grumpy sunshine trope, there's some spicy scenes. Like, look, I'm a grown woman, okay? I'm a grown woman. Yeah. Why do I squeal with the spicy scenes? Why? The spicy scenes are so uncomfortable, and I'm watching this by myself. No one else is here. I'm watching this by myself, but I find it so uncomfortable. But anyway, the spicy scenes are very intense, so I'm just warning you. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. 5 stars, and I will probably be starting the second season very, very soon. The next thing is a film which I recently watched in the cinema, and that's Inside Out 2, and I gave this 4 stars. Yeah, this is obviously the sequel to the first one. We're inside Riley's mind, in her like sort of headquarters, where her emotions kind of controlling her, and she's now a teenager, because I think in the first one she's 9 or 10, I'm not sure. Basically, I won't obviously spoil it, but this one, her headquarters, where her emotions are, it undergoes some sort of like construction work to make way for new emotions, because obviously she's starting puberty. Yeah, we just kind of follow that. So yeah, I thought this was really, really fun. It's one for everybody, for kids, for adults. You know, I really like the underlying messages in it about, essentially, you know, about growing up. I would personally say it would probably resonate more with the older audience, with teens and adults. It might be, I think kids can definitely still watch it, but I don't think they'll get the underlying message really. But yeah, I still prefer the first one. I think this one was just missing a little bit of the spark, but I still loved it. I cried, I laughed. It was really funny, actually. I loved Anger. He's like my some of his lines were so funny. It was really good, actually. It was actually really good. Yeah, it's probably definitely Inside Out is, like, just personally for me, it's probably one of my favorite Pixar films, after Toy Story, of course. Very, very moving, and I personally relate a lot to the story, especially the second one as well. Both of them really, but I did definitely relate to this one as well, because it's like to do with like anxiety and stuff. So yeah, I would highly recommend it. And then last but not least, I watched Scandal season 1. I'm almost finished season 2. So a bit of backstory. I have already watched Scandal, but I got up to season 4 or 5. I remember I was watching it in uni, and then I think I just gave up. It got to around like 3rd year, and I just gave up watching it. There's like 7 seasons, but I restarted it again back in May, I think, and I roped my husband into watching it, because I always bang on about Scandal. I think it's so good. Yeah, he started watching it with me, and he absolutely loves it. But I think between me and you, I think he's got a bit of a crush on Olivia Pope, but I don't mind. She's pretty hot, isn't she? I finally got up to the parts where I'm slowly starting to remember like a bit of the plots, so I'm obviously kind of like keeping it to myself. So we recently just finished the episode, if you've watched it, the 752 episode with Huck. Oh my god, that one breaks my heart. I remember the first time I watched it, it broke me. The second time, I was close to tears watching it. Oh my god, we need to yeah, so yeah, that one, it breaks me. So if you're not sure what Scandal is about, so we follow Olivia Pope, the amazing Olivia Pope. She was the former head of media relations for the president at the White House, but she quickly left to open up her own firm. So she deals with like crisis management and scandals in like the DC area, and for like high profile people like politicians and things like that. But she's keeping a little secret of her own. She's having her own scandal, because guess what? She's having an affair with the president. So we see how we kind of follow that story. So it's so good. It's obviously a 5 stars. I love Kerry Washington. I think she's an amazing actress. It's amazing. It's so good. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It's on Disney Plus. I think it's actually, if you're in the UK, it's on Channel 4 as well. But obviously, if you don't want the adverts, you can watch it on Disney Plus. But it's so good. I'm just coming in because I'm editing. I just remembered. Hopefully you can hear me. I just remembered I didn't talk about Queenie. How could I forget? So I watched Queenie at the start of June when it came out. They released all the episodes at the same time. absolutely love it when they do that. So that was on Channel 4 and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. So it's obviously based on the novel Queenie from Candice Carty-Williams. It's about a Jamaican British 20-something girl called Queenie who is kind of feeling stuck between her 2 cultures, but it also deals with like things like heartbreak and like friendship and toxic workplaces, and it's just a really good like coming of age show. And obviously book I really loved as well. Music was good as well. I really resonated with this. I felt seen. I'm also, like, my background is Jamaican, that's where my family come from. Yeah, also this does delve a lot into like mental health, because she goes through a lot of mental health problems, and it's very taboo in our culture, in our community to like talk. I think it is getting a little bit better now, but it's quite taboo to talk about like mental health problems and talk about therapy. Like, I've had therapy on and off in like my early 20s, and it was really difficult talking about that with my parents. They didn't really understand, and I think they're getting a little bit better now, and I think they're starting to understand a little bit more now. But I really liked how it depicted that in the show and how it portrayed that. I thought it was really good. I really recommend it. It was, yeah, it was just nice to feel seen and feel represented in a TV show. And the actress, I can't remember her name, but she's absolutely beautiful. She's stunning, and I loved her outfits. I wish, like, I don't know if there's a way I can like find where her who styled Queenie the character, because I absolutely adored her outfits. Yeah, I actually really highly recommend it. I thought it was really good. Anyways, back to the video. That is it. Thank you so much again for watching. Thank you again for subscribing and just for being here. I really appreciate all of you so much. I do have a reading vlog which should be going up after this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Please let me know if you've read this. I would love to talk to you guys about this in the comments, because yeah. But yeah, I really hope you guys are well, and I will speak to you in the next video.